Hi, I'm Fayam. To introduce myself, two things. One, I sleep 8 to 9 hours a day.
Bravo. Can you write about it?
I will write about it at some point.
I mean, young men sleeping for 8 to 9 hours, that's fantastic role model.
So my question for you is that I've been reading about Richard Branson lately, and he seems to consider all his business ventures pure fun. And I'm curious for you, do you look at your work life as just as much fun as your off time? And if not, or sort of regardless, what do you do for fun?
Yes, absolutely. I love my work. It's funny, Brian Levine, who is an editor who works very closely with me, and some other editors were in my office yesterday, and I said, oh my God, I wish we had more time to just work on things like that without being constantly interrupted by other things. So yes, I absolutely love my work. I don't see the rest of my life as being fun and my work as not being fun. But the key is how I start my day. If I start my day recharged, then everything I do, even the challenges, every day includes challenges and obstacles we have to overcome, even that is kind of an adventure. Other than that, my favorite thing is staying home, piling up work, books, music, everything in bed, and spending kind of a day just going through everything. Like, does anybody else like doing that, or am I the only person? It's just like the best thing. For me, my favorite vacation would be staying at home, the world stops. In terms of my personal aspirations for the future, I really thought the Huffington Post was going to be sort of my last act, but then came Thrive. And now I'm really passionate about Thrive, as passionate as I'm about the Huffington Post. And the two, of course, have been combined because we have over 20 sections on HuffPost that deal with issues around reducing stress, living lives that are more fulfilling and less breathless, the way we lead our lives now, as though we're constantly running out of time. And I feel particularly strongly about spreading that message through books. I'm doing another book about it, through speaking, and through everything we're doing at HuffPost. But I particularly love to have these discussions with people of your generation, because I feel you have an opportunity to create a different world. Because our world, the way it's been designed, largely by men, is not working. It's not working for women, it's not working for men, and it's certainly not working for polar bears. And if you think of it, 75% of our healthcare costs, you're going to medical school, are for preventable stress-related diseases. This is not sustainable. And it's completely self-inflicted. And you see people who are now becoming addicted on top of it to their devices and to being on all the time, and that creates its own health risks and problems. And on top of it, it creates major consequences when it comes to our creativity. Because, to be really creative, you need to be undistracted. You can't be doing what Linda Stone has described, being in a state of continuous partial attention to everything and multitasking. So I feel getting this message out there and getting people to lead their lives differently and prioritize things differently will be game-changing.
Like, sometimes failures are the best thing that can happen to you because they can accelerate your growth and you can do amazing things after. Can you give us an example of a professional moment that you thought that you were failing and how that transformed you and your career?
Well, actually, going back to my 20s, I wrote my first book when I was 23, and then I wrote a book about political leadership, which was rejected by 36 publishers. So by then, I had run out of the money I had made with my first book, and I was kind of rather depressed, wondering whether I should change careers, whether the first book was like a fluke and I needed to do something else. And I remember walking down St. James's Street in London, where I lived at the time, and seeing Barclays Bank. And something made me walk into the bank and ask to see the bank manager, armed with nothing but a lot of Greek chutzpah that you know about, and asking for a loan. And the bank manager gave me a loan, which made it possible for me to keep it together for another 3 rejections, and finally I got an acceptance. So I think that when things look dark and difficult in our lives or in our careers, it's important to know that like in fairy tales, when the hero or the heroine is caught in a dark forest, you often have these helpful animals that come out and help the hero or the heroine get out of the forest. Well, in life too, you have helpful animals disguised as human beings or bank managers that help you through failures until you can turn things around. So my favorite quote that we have on a pillow actually in my office and laminated in my wallet is by Rumi, who said, "Live life as though everything is rigged in your favor." So whatever happens, when you look back in your life, will have been a hidden blessing.
Very inspiring. The question is how do you balance doing versus talking and living versus storytelling?
Actually, I think the whole Chinese culture and wisdom is very key to answering that question. I mean, the wisdom around, Tai Chi, for example, which is all about balancing the yin and the yang, and instead of just the Western idea that you just power through everything, recognizing that life is more of a dance between making it happen and letting it happen. I think that's what we need to rediscover and bring back in our lives. And then that yin and the yang that you're asking about begins to happen more naturally because we listen to the whispers. I'm stunned by the number of people who've stopped listening to their own whispers, stopped listening to their intuition, and are just trying to do everything through their mind and over basically ignoring their bodies, ignoring their emotions until they collapse. I mean, the stories of people who've collapsed that I've heard about are stunning. If I was writing my book again, I would have made it much stronger. Pascal Chabot, the Belgian philosopher, described burnout as the disease of civilization. And this is because we keep ignoring the whispers until we hit the wall. And I actually just completed an e-course with Oprah on this. It's a 6-week e-course. If you want to take it, Brian Levine is in charge here. We'll give you a special offer, right, Brian? You can go to oprah.com/thrive. We're starting on May 3rd, and every week we work on 2 steps. The first week, it's sleep and meditation. And every week has a guest teacher. The guest teacher in the first week is Kobe Bryant. I deliberately wanted somebody unexpected who can prove that sleep and meditation are performance enhancement tools. They are not for people who want to chill out under a mango tree. They are for people who want to win, who want to succeed, who want to achieve, but they want to do it in a way that's sustainable.
But essentially, it was an unexpected pairing because both of you had such great success, especially at such a young age, and are just driven. And when I read that, I was curious to know who else is in your circle that you view emulates your beliefs and your teachings, and who else do you think you would say is projected to live the life that you've taught?
Actually, I should mention somebody who is an engineer. Padma Warrior. She's the CTO of Cisco. She oversees tens of thousands of engineers. And for me, she's a role model of what I'm talking about. She talks publicly about sleeping for 8 hours, meditating, writing haikus, and every Saturday she does a digital detox. So I think it's just an incredible example of how, if you're overseeing tens of thousands of engineers and you can still take a digital detox because it makes you more effective and leading the life you want, then surely all of us can do it. And these are the kind of people I admire. I love Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, who gave an interview recently in which he said, I sleep for 8 hours. Do you know how revolutionary that is for a CEO of a major public company to say that? Even if a CEO was sleeping for 8 hours, even a year or 2 years ago, they wouldn't have admitted it. Go find anybody who admitted it before. The same with the meditation. Last year was the year when CEO after CEO came out, not as being gay, but as being a meditator. Like Ray Dalio, the founder of Bridgewater, the biggest global hedge fund, said he's been meditating for 45 years, considers the foundation of his success. Mark Benioff said he's been meditating for 25 years. Why didn't they say that earlier? Because something has shifted. A lot of these things, meditation, sleep, were seen as kind of new agey, flaky California things. And now they have been introduced into the mainstream as performance enhancement tools that allow us to have a complete and fulfilling life.